Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, June 29. Government is projected to save an estimated $54 million annually from the installation of solar and other energy efficiency systems. The equipment have been installed at 6 public health facilities across the island under a $1.25 million grant from the United Nations Development Program. The work, which began in 2016, was completed recently. It's expected to improve energy efficiency in the health sector while reducing the energy bill. At Thursday's closing out and handing over ceremony, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz said a 22% annual reduction in the health sector's bill was anticipated.
Government ministries and agencies must become models and leaders in energy conservation and environmental stewardship, as stipulated by Goal 6 of Jamaica's National Energy Policy.
We're looking at a win-win situation for stakeholders with the execution of energy efficiency and renewable energy measures and supply and installation of equipment that guarantees energy efficiency and renewable energy savings at our health facilities.
These achievements must be expanded so that sustainable universal access can be delivered to and for the benefits of all Jamaicans.
The proposed Agriculture Wardens program will be piloted shortly. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Floyd Green says the program is expected to bolster government's measures to fight predial larceny. He says the agriculture wardens will have power of arrest.
What we want to do is get people who are on the ground, just like the district constable, but they are tasked with protecting agricultural produce. But they have the powers of our police officers. They are police officers so trained, but they come from in the area, so they keep watch.
7 additional predial larceny units have been added in police divisions with designated officers and detectives handling cases. Minister Green says resources have also been flowing into the units, including new vehicles to improve the mobility of the officers. He was speaking at the official opening of the Low Leighton Lennox production zones in Portland recently. Land leases were handed over to farmers in the zone. Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal Pernell Charles Jr. says the state will be targeting squatter landlords across the island. Squatter landlords are persons who develop settlements on lands they do not own. Minister Charles says the issue is of particular concern in St. Anne, where the squatter settlements are developed in protected forest areas.
They have the money, but they choose to manipulate, to circumvent the law, and to exploit poor people by going in, tearing down our forests, and selling off land that oftentimes is government land. We are confronting this directly by ensuring that we have the necessary enforcement to call out those squatter landlords and to let them know that there will be no more squatter landlords allowed in Jamaica.
Minister Charles was speaking recently at a My Tree Legacy planting exercise at St. Catherine High School. Still on housing, over 300 persons have registered for the state's low-cost housing design competition. It was launched on May 7 and interested persons have until August 9 to register for the competition. The goal is to produce creative, original and resilient low-cost housing designs to accelerate the National Social Housing Program. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who conceptualized the competition, says he's eager to see the designs that will be generated from participants.
What we want to get from the competition is a design unit that uses materials that are easily available, cost-effective materials, but materials that are also durable, that are suited for our environment, and materials that are easy to use in the construction process.
Submissions will be accepted from individuals and groups of up to 5 persons. The winning design will cop a first-place prize of $1 million. Second place is $500,000, while third-place prize winners will receive $250,000. In other news, the House of Representatives passed the Legal Aid Fees Validation and Indemnification Act 2021 last Tuesday. The bill seeks to validate the payments made to attorneys at law who provided legal aid services in the R versus Utrence Wilson and others trial, as well as the R versus Carlington Godfrey and others trial. As he piloted the bill, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck said the 34 defendants in both cases sought assistance for their defense under the Legal Aid Act. The trials, which took 25 months, saw 42 attorneys being assigned, costing the state over $65.8 million.
The trial could not commence as the Legal Aid Council was unable to assign attorneys at law willing to undertake the matter on behalf of the accused without a significant increase in the fees being offered, commensurate to the unprecedented level of work being undertaken. As a result, Madam Speaker, this situation threatened the defendants' right to a fair trial.
Minister Chuck says consultations were made with the council and attorneys at law, and it was determined that the best way forward was to vary the tariff of fees. After the matters went on for longer than expected, a decision was made to put a cap on the payments made to the attorneys. With the bill, the government is now able to validate the sums paid, which are outside of the Legal Aid Act. And finally, the Denham Town High School has received 350 desk shields to assist with the government's planned resumption of in-person classes in September. The shields were donated by the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE Jamaica, Women in Engineering Affinity Group. At last Friday's handing over ceremony, Education Minister Favour Williams said the gift would provide an added layer of protection for students during face-to-face learning.
We have to get back into the face-to-face environment. Going forward, education will continue to be in the face-to-face world, even though technology will remain a permanent part of the education.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.